I'm going to ask you to do one thing right now. Only one thing. Trust. Trust that results will come. And I know it's really hard right now because times are difficult and you feel like a failure. You feel like giving up. You're seeing no progress. But this is exactly where a character is built. This moment is part of your story. When you eventually reach those goals because you stayed resilient despite these difficult times, you will remember this moment and understand that this was necessary for you to have success. Do you want to know what the average person does? They quit. When they feel like how you feel right now, they quit. And that's why they live with regret. And I'm sure you've been that person before. I'm sure you currently have regrets for times in the past where you didn't stick through. But what you have to understand is in the past, when you didn't stick through it, it was supposed to happen that way. It was supposed to be imperfect. It was a test to your faith. If you truly believed that you were meant for something more. Because if you truly believe that, you would not let that be the reason why you quit. You would not let not being consistent be the reason why you fail. Real failure comes from giving up. But if you're here right now and you're listening, you have not given up yet. Even though you might have thought you've given up in the past, you still tried again. So you're still here. You're still in the game. That's why I want you to keep trusting, because if you don't give up and you keep going and you stay resilient, your life will change. Anyone that's had anything valuable in their life, anything extraordinary, had to go through times that were really hard where they feel like they're doing work for nothing and see no progress. That is great when you're in this situation right now, because that shows exactly that you're on track. I've just gone through really, really difficult times recently, and even though it sucked to feel, I knew deep down I was smiling because I was like, this is necessary. This is going to be part of my story later when I do succeed. I'm going to remember this moment. So even despite these times being tough, even if you have regrets, even if you haven't been consistent, keep showing up, keep trying, okay? It will click. And I want you to keep giving value to other people. That's how you grow the most. You don't grow by making everything just about you. You grow once you contribute to the world and you put yourself out there. This is so much bigger than you. As much as you have your own personal goals, your goals have impacts on other people. You being fit, for example, is not just about your own health. It's to be able to show up to the people that you love. You building a business is not about you making money. It's about making a change in the world. All the goals that you have that are ambitious is so much bigger than you. So keep going, because it's for the best. We need people like you to self-actualize. We need people like you that when things are hard, they don't give up. That's how people like me and you make the world a better place. That's how we get more connected as humans. That's how we feel alive. We need each other. I'm here to tell you to not give up, because I'm speaking to myself. People are not that different from one to the other. We all have our lizard brain thoughts. We all have self-doubt. We all have all or nothing mindsets, perfectionism, procrastination. We all have issues, but it's how you react to them that makes you different. So no matter what happens in your life right now, no matter what your goals are, keep going, keep developing as a person, keep investing in your self-improvement, keep building your skills and building your personal brand. And I know that you might be thinking, wait, my personal brand? If you're not someone that shows up online, you might be wondering, what am I talking about? Your personal brand is basically how you show up to the world, what people think about you. And it doesn't necessarily mean online. It's also how you interact in your community, like on your day-to-day life. When you show up online, it's just doing the same thing, but at a bigger scale. That's it. If you look at me right now on the camera, this is how I am as a person in my environment. If you don't know me, my name is Bianca St. George, and I'm a professional soccer player. And people on my team know how intense I can be. They know how disciplined I am. They know how I just want to be built different, because I do things differently than all my other teammates. But I want a different life than what most athletes have. Most athletes, when they retire from their sports, they have no idea who they are. They have no idea what their value is. They have no sense of direction. I don't want to feel that pain. So I'm investing right now into my personal brand and developing who I want to become and what values I have and what is my mission in this world. I'm actively doing that. And sometimes it's so chaotic and I'm so lost and I'm pissed off and I'm angry and I'm directionless, but I keep going. I keep having faith. I keep trusting, because the only guarantee I would have to not succeed is if I quit. But if I keep going, it's going to click eventually. There is going to be clarity in all this chaos. You don't start with clarity. You go through chaos and then gain clarity over time. Clarity is such a beautiful reward, but it has to be earned. And it is earned when you're resilient and you don't give up. If you have a hard time right now trying to figure out what you want to do, think about this. If you were on a TV show right now, what would people scream at the TV to tell you what to do? For me, recently, I imagine people telling me to just freaking relax, to tell me that it's going to be okay and I just need to chill for a second. I would get overwhelmed by the littlest things when nothing really bad was happening in my life, or I was still on track towards my goals, but because I wasn't seeing any results yet, I was getting frustrated and I was like, oh, this isn't working. But no, I am getting results, just not the ones that I'm looking for right now. The results are maybe on the micro scale, but they matter. It's going to compound over time. So the people on the TV would be screaming to just relax, take a deep breath, and just breathe and sit in silence and just stay calm, basically. For you, it might look something different. Maybe you're someone that's been too relaxed or maybe a little lazy, and they would just tell you to go to the gym, or to just finally post that piece of content, or to finally start up your website. What would they be screaming at the TV for you to do? And I want you to look a little bit bigger than that. There's another analogy that I really like that makes you maybe inspired to take action. I want you to think about, would anyone read a book about your life? If you say no, you're not doing crazy enough things, okay? You're not doing things differently. But if you're a high achiever, if you're ambitious, if you have big dreams, your life cannot look like an average person. That's boring. And it's nothing wrong that it's boring if that's what you want. But if you want to live something exceptional, you cannot have normal life. You need to do things that is extremely out of your comfort zone. I want you to imagine your life a few years from now, 10, 20 years from now, and someone would write a book about you and all the chapters in your life, the things that you've done, the risks that you've taken, the mistakes that you've made, the success that you've had. But just so you know, your life will be interesting from all the mistakes that you've made and all the failures that you've had, but how you bounce back from that. A story that has just success is not relatable, is not fun to hear, is unrealistic, and it just doesn't exist. All the good books that you read, even the fiction books, there were times of darkness. There were times that were so low and you weren't sure if they were going to come out of it, but eventually it always works out. Be the main character of your life. Treat your life as something precious. It is a gift that you're here. Make the most out of it. You can be comfortable if you want to and stay average, but I know that's not what you want. So make the sacrifices, and you'll realize the sacrifices you're making, if they're really aligned with your values, they don't feel like sacrifices at all. I don't party, I don't drink, I don't watch TV, what else do normal people do? I don't text, I don't go on dating apps, I don't know, I don't do what normal people do because it's not like a big sacrifice to me. It just feels like that's just not who I am. The person that I am is someone that values their time. It's someone that works on their projects, that invests in themselves and their wisdom and wants to learn, getting out of my comfort zone. That is the person that I am. And that's because that's the person I want to be. So act like the person that you want to be. And that requires you to keep showing up. And despite when you fail, despite when you're not being consistent, despite when you're not proud of yourself, to not waste energy on beating yourself up for that, but instead pick yourself back up and try again. last thing I want to say is I want you to understand that I have made tons of mistakes in the past on my self-development journey, on my journey on YouTube, on all the projects I want to make, and I still keep making mistakes. I still am not proud of things that I do, but it gets less and less frequent because I've made the mistakes and I've tried again. And over time, you just learn and you stop making those mistakes because you've made it so many times and you just didn't quit. So there is hope. There is hope for you. There is a better future ahead, but you have to trust that. And when you trust, you're able to work towards it because you just know that this future is going to just be brighter. Please don't give up, okay? This video was kind of authentic and raw and all over the place. So if you like this type of video, let me know. If not, I can keep doing the other type of structure where it's more bullet points and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. You being able to watch this video helps me achieve my dreams. And it also gives me feedback. Even if this video doesn't do well, it gives me feedback. And I appreciate you for being there for my journey, because without you, I wouldn't be able to learn. So thank you. I love you so much, and I will see you very soon in a new video. Mwah.